Hello everyone, if you do not know who I am, my name is Paradoxical Intention, but y'all can call me Paradoxy, and welcome to Postmortem, One Must Die. I got this game off of Humble Bundle a while back, and apparently it's a game where you act as an agent of death, and you are sent to a party to schmooze, and you must go and pick one person at this party to kill. And there's like a bunch of political stuff going on between two countries, and I don't think you can hear it, but earlier, while I was setting up my recording, there was a very sinister version of Pop Goes the Weasel playing on the menu, which I thought was amusing and actually really fitting. But, so let's get started and see how it goes. Please proceed to your briefing. I can't read that. Okay. Welcome to Postmortem. This room functions as a brief tutorial. Follow these guides to learn how to play the game, or step through the doors to skip the tutorial. You can read behind the controls. Okay, I use the arrow WASD keys to move around. Press E to interact with things. Case profile. Number 2442-G-2. Country Galacia. Date October 18th, 1897. Population 1.9 million. Expected R +3 per month. A country in its early stages of industrialization, torn by almost 5 years of violent domestic conflict called the turmoil. Operative assigned pending review. Status incomplete. You can also use E to talk with others. A speech bubble will appear above them. During conversation, use the number keys on your numpad to make dialogue choices. Now walk up to the character and speak with them.
Welcome.
Hi. The powers that be demand you take one life tonight. The choice is yours. Where are you sending me? We are sending you to Galacia tonight. How much do you know about the place? I know a little. Well, no matter. You're not here to meddle with mortal affairs. Get in. Pick a life. Get out. Do be careful, however, as the place is pretty unstable right now with a violent civil conflict between the New Ager and Old Ager groups. I have some questions. Oh dear, you're one of those inquisitive types. What do you need to know? How did the conflict start? It all started with an argument over some of Galatian traditions and what defines a true Galatian, resulting in a baker being shot. Anger and violence soon followed, quickly spreading and sweeping the country, and I just spit all over my monitor. This baker revolt, as they call it, really highlighted the ideological and economical struggle between the two factions. Anything else, or can we move on already? What is the conflict about? There's two dimensions to the issue. First is the question of tradition and preserving the real Galatian cultural heritage in light of rapid industrial and economical progress. Second is the struggle between the wealthy business owners and their workers demanding better treatment and pay. The two dimensions seem to align themselves with New Agers on one side and Old Agers on the other. Who are the New Agers? Primarily wealthy businessmen and open-minded thinkers. They are in favor of rapid development, progressive reforms, and overall moving the country forward. They are criticized for abandoning their own cultural past and exploiting their workers for quick profit. Who are the Old Agers? Mostly the common workers and older or rural folk. They speak of the need to preserve Galatian culture and defend the common man from exploitation. But many are seen as holding backwards in archaic views and slowing down the country's progress. Actually, I wanted to ask about you. Why, yes, let's grab some tea and biscuits and spend the next 4 hours chatting idly, because I do not have anything better to do tonight, right? It's mean. I don't have any more questions. Good. The turmoil is why we're sending you to a fairly peaceful and safe gala. You know the type, high-profile fundraising event for some vandalized high school. Shouldn't be too much trouble. Why was the school vandalized? I do not know much, but I believe Rose Hill High is one of the few schools which refuse to segregate students based on their beliefs and social status. Angry parents on both sides protested that policy rather directly. So lots of big and influential characters attending. Among others, it's an open event, so you might see people from all paths of life. Alright? In any case, don't get too involved. Just be prompt and efficient. We don't do overtime, you know. Couldn't my choice have significant impact? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? This isn't some sort of a game. You don't win a prize at the end. Just claim us a life tonight, whatever works for you. Oh, and one more thing. What gender would you like to appear to the mortals? I'm very much female, ma'am. Poof. All done. Magic. Now go up ahead, then, and we'll transfer you. I have more questions. And I have more pencils in my drawer, but you don't see me bragging about it. Just go on ahead. Okay, fine. Gotta be such a... Don't waste time. Oh, fine. Shh, shh, shh. I'm quite busy filing your paperwork, and the longer you stay in the lobby, the longer the paperwork gets. Jeez, lady. Okay, so we're gonna... Don't think I'm fond of this control scheme. Okay. Just gonna sidle our way up here. So there is a big deal going on. The working classes are revolting against the business classes, who feel like they can exploit the working classes, and the working classes feel like the business classes feel like they're being held back from making the country a better place. So this is interesting. So if we press tab, we can choose a target. Rose Hill High devastated, Selden to hold fundraiser. Destroyed playgrounds, broken windows, and political graffiti is what greeted Rose Hill High School principal Ronald Gilchrist when he entered the school grounds on the morning of September 6th. Gilchrist's staunch non-segregation policies, allowing children of both New Agers and Old Agers to be educated in the same classroom, appeared to be the reason for the attack, judging from the graffiti. They play at being focused on our future, but they're simply beasts, said Principal Gilchrist. Destroying an education facility is the antithesis of progress, no matter how your politics lean. I agree! Very, very well said, sir. Bill Selden, CEO of Selden Glassware, Inc., announced a plan to host a charity gala to raise funds for renovating the school. High-profile guests, including the Thatchers of Gaul media fame, have already expressed their interest in attending and providing generous donations. Old Ager proponents have noted that, particularly enough, Mr. Selden has no children, nor has ever married, and believe this to be a sympathy grab by the New Ager upper class. It does certainly seem that way, doesn't it?
Hello.
Hello. My name is Gary. I'm a student at Rose Hill High, volunteering at the event tonight. Oh, what are you doing? Just small stuff, carry food, get people's coats, nothing major. What is this event for? Oh, you must have heard of the incident, right? Our school got vandalized all bad. Some folks weren't happy that allows both New Age and Old Age students. Tell me more about the incident. Some people destroyed our playgrounds, threw bricks at our windows, and splayed insults all over the walls. They weren't happy that the school allows both New Age and Old Age students. I see. Anyway, what do you study? Math, literature, history, all sorts of things. What's your favorite subject? I like our history class, especially the archaeology bits, and I took an elective in business marketing. That was really fun, too. Why did you decide to volunteer tonight? I think it's good to get out and meet new successful people at events like this. You're here mainly for networking? Which, by the way, kids, is a very good idea if you're in a business to go out and to go to parties and meet people and network. Always have some business cards handy. Oh, of course not. I'm here to help out my school, too, but it doesn't hurt if I benefit from it, too, right? You're right. It's good that you work hard at your career at such a young age. Exactly, and such a great opportunity with Mr. Selden hosting the event. He's such an inspirational businessman. What is his business? I am not from here. Selden Glassware Inc., but the biggest provider of glass products in all of Galacia. It's amazing how he got there. He took his father's so-so business and completely turned around, finding new markets and opportunities. How did he manage that? Originally, his father only produced small home products, glasses, jars, that kind of stuff. But when Mr. Selden took over, he expanded to windowing, has a whole new method of cheaply making glass sheets. It was a brilliant move on his part. I mean, he really is like a textbook example of a successful businessman. Sounds like you really believe in industrialization. Well, not quite, but I do think it can give us a lot of benefits, and we need to make sure they all fall in the right hands. After all, it's too often used to undermine our Galatian roots. And what are your Galatian roots? There's so many beautiful things that define what being a Galatian is. Language, music, food, even something like when we tap 3 times on the mirror when entering our house as a guest. No other country actually does that. I thought it was so cool when I learned it in our anthropology class. That's important for your cultural identity. I mean, I just really think it's important we don't let money or success make us forget those things, you know? Too often the New Agers pursue progress for progress's sake, completely abandoning our culture. Indeed, culture is what really gives our life value. Money is just paper. But what if the new is better than the old? Can't you progress while preserving culture? Maybe, but that's not how things are in Galacia right now, and our culture gets slowly erased like in the Bakers' Revolt that started it all. What was the Bakers' Revolt? Apparently, a New Ager baker was trying to save money by taking raisins from our traditional holiday bread. Big argument followed that led him getting shot, but it's just a horrible example of how profits make us forget our tradition. True, but does it really warrant getting shot? In the end, as big industrialists grow their businesses, it's the small folk who cherish our culture just get left behind. How do they get left behind? Small family shops can't compete with New Agers. Many have been closing down. What if they all closed and we only one big store is left? They could do whatever they want, make prices higher, pay their workers very little. They would have so much control. And so the division between social classes widens. Yes, exactly. And that could lead to rich overpowering the proper folk. Look at Trenter. When the Old Ager locals renovated old buildings and opened beautiful gardens, it attracted rich industrialists and their hipsterian children who slowly pushed them out, benefiting from their work. That's not evolving our culture, that's taking it over. And the government did nothing, lobbied by New Ager people of peace party to keep it quiet. Public never realized, swayed by their massive propaganda, the Old Ager voice simply got marginalized. That's not what democracy should be. No surprise riots followed. That's terrible. Yeah, exactly. That's why the TFF came about, to give Old Agers their voice back. What's TFF? You're really not from here, are you? Nope. One of my classmates is an immigrant too, but anyway. The Trenter Freedom Force is the biggest group that organizes many protests and events to bring attention to Old Ager cause. They're the only ones fighting for the small folk. Oh, are they the peaceful ones? I learned all about that in history class. There was a protest in Trenter a while back, and the government sent in soldiers to contain it. Many innocent people got hurt. Some even died. The TFF was founded as a result of that. But now, because of more New Ager pressure, the government calls them terrorists because apparently they're responsible for some of the violent acts too. You seem to align with their views. I mean, sometimes if you care about your rights and love your country, but the government doesn't listen, sometimes you need to stand up and make them listen, right? I agree. Equal representation is the foundation of democracy and must be protected by all means. So you agree that some of the things like bombing scares are understandable to bring attention to our cause if there's no other way to be heard. If everything else failed, then yes, desperate time... No, it depends on the circumstances. Don't you think our circumstances warrant that? The TFF rise to arms not because they are bloodthirsty, but because they love their country and want a decent life. I don't know enough about the conflict to make a judgment call. Guess we'll have to leave it at that for now. In any case, we should probably check on the other guests if they need anything. Bye! Ooh, no, more books. From Torts to Turmoil, Exploring the Roots of Galatian Conflict. It's been almost 5 years since John Piaczarek, a local baker from the local city of Lorraine, was shot by an angry customer following a heated argument over the definition of Galacia's traditional holiday bread. While the incident may seem ridiculous in retrospect, its impact was significant. Mobs soon took to the streets, bakers' revolt, New Ager movements. Okay, we already know about all this.
What can I do for you?
Tell me about yourself. Local watchmaker, not quite as skilled as my father. You might have heard him, he passed away some years ago. Not as skilled as your father? Indeed, my father is quite a brilliant engineer. Good from all sorts of directions, came requesting a service. As much I hate to admit it, I'm not nearly as skilled and nimble as he was. If you're not as skilled as your father, how come you're continuing watchmaking? After my father passed away, his assistant, dear old Cardiff, stayed to help me with the business. He watched my father for years, learned many tricks of the trade. Lucky for me, I would have been very lost if it wasn't for his help. Have you considered other pursuits? Well, I have been finding science and philosophy quite interesting as of late, and maybe because I work with watches so much, I've been reading a lot about theory of time and such. Perhaps if making watches isn't your passion, you should focus more on your scientific interests? You really think so? I have been musing over some theories and ideas in my spare time. Perhaps I should develop them a bit more. Oh, by the way, I saw that waiter man leave a key behind. I think it's to the staff storage. Do you know where he might be wandering around? I was just actually about to speak with him. Just give it to me and I'll pass it on. Oh, grand. Thank you for sparing me having to talk to him. Why don't you want to talk to him? He's just so chatty when he gets on the topic of worker rights. What about it? He complains so much about exploitation, the upper class is putting him down. Can't he just enjoy his craft for craft's sake? Like yourself? I'll be off then. Hello, madam.
Hello.
Tell me about yourself. Why don't you tell me? Ekaterina. Do I detect a slight accent? Where are you from, then? Forsvågen is one of the small nations to the east. I brought you here. My parents and I moved here when I was very young, pursuing a better life, more opportunities, something like that. I never inquired much. Has it proven to be a better place? Oh, what difference does it make? Wherever you are, it's what you make out of it. I guess you're right. I suppose I am more interested in moving forward with my life rather than dwelling on the past. Isn't your heritage important? Oh golly, you sound like one of them old-ager things now. I don't care what I sound like. Neither do I. Honestly, though, I don't care much for the local politics or squabbles of Galacia. Like I mentioned, I'm not from here. Great things called to action, regardless of whether you care or not. If you live here, it doesn't affect your life. It's understandable, I suppose. Life's too short to worry about the petty squabbles of others. Well, you know, I could die this very night from a heart attack. You could. Indeed. That's one of the reasons why I find biology so fascinating. Mother Nature is not very motherly in that respect. It's the strongest child that survives. Not always. We help the weak ones often. Indeed, but we do it of our own volition, contrary to the rules of biology. Only humans think of our survival in emotional terms. That's why animals are such better to study. So much simpler. Animals have emotions, too. You can't disprove it either! The more you study them, more explained by simple biology, body function, chemicals, reflexes. And you know this how? Read some supports on dissecting an animal to learn what is inside. It's interesting to see what makes them tick. Morbid curiosity? Something like that. Well, I've done that too. Glad to see a fellow woman of science. There's so much we can learn from dissecting biological beings. Sadly, our society shuns on doing that with other humans. There's still those who do that. Yes, those often get punished for it or had to go out of their ways to obtain a carcass. Why is this such a big deal? Aren't humans just other type of animal after all? Yep, we're all part of the animal kingdom. Exactly. And if we can learn so much from the study of animals, think of how much more we can learn from actual dead humans. Yes, you're right. So you agree, we should be studying a dead human if we get a chance. Yes, scientific knowledge and medical improvements justify it. Interesting viewpoint. Why are you asking me all those questions anyway? I was just making small talk. I'll be off for now. Goodbye. Let's read this. Another heinous act of animal cruelty. Warm morning sounds not to protect Mercedes Aguilar from freezing horror. Peacock with a severed head. Bloody New Agers, I tell you. Oh, so that might have been her, actually. The control scheme's a little weird because everything's diagonal. Yes. A timeline of the Galatian turmoil. Okay, so there's the Baker Revolt. The Culture Unforgotten Coalition, which is an old-ager propaganda group. Automaton Fire, the first ever Galatian automobile manufacturing plant, owned by New Ager-led Automaton Inc. set fire 2 days after beginning operation, probably like the old Agers. Battle of Trentor, a violent protest turned into an uprising in the small town of Trentor. The Trentor Freedom Force emerges, an old Ager paramilitary group. 5-point plan to end the riots unsuccessfully proposed by Nicholas McDillan, governor of Antrim. CUC felt offended. The plan implied that they are involved in violence. The People of Progress formed as a response to the CUC and TFF. TFF officially classified as a terrorist group. Automaton factory workers march on strike for better pay and benefits. Seen as distasteful by the numerous New Ager figures given the 2-year anniversary of the Automaton fire. The coffin makers of Pagford refused to make coffins as a statement of solidarity against the violence. And then the Rose Hill High was vandalized. So we got like a bunch of stuff going on here.
Welcome. I do not believe we have met.
It's good to see another fine lady at our event, you are. My name is not important. My real person is secrecy, I see. Every gala needs those to keep it interesting, and glad to have such interesting individuals attending our event. I hope you'll be interested in contributing towards our fundraiser. Certainly. Most excellent. I must get going. Walk away, sir. Oh, is there a safe? Oh. There's a picture of a little girl in Sheldon's safe. Sheldon is the guy who's running this joint. Is your child school reading old agers? Would you let your child play with backwards Philistines? Would you teach them traditionalist propaganda? Would you cripple their potential? Then why allow school to do that? Okay, so it's already talked with you. Haven't spoken with you.
Should I bring you a glass?
Yes, please. Finest oak casket aged whiskey and scotch. Sparkling wine. I will have some whiskey. Something else? I believe I have a key you might have left behind. You're welcome. Gala. What is this? You've come to these kind of events often. I always work as a server after all. Food and drinks always need to be served. Have you donated or bought anything? I'm afraid not. I'm here strictly as a worker and haven't had time to look at the goods. I must be going. Hello, ma'am.
How do you do?
Let me introduce myself proper. Go ahead. Ophelia Thatcher. Yes, those Thatchers. Born as a Thatcher's, put much expectations on me. As you can imagine, I was lucky enough to be admitted to one of Antrim's top private schools and spend what little time I have attending many different causes. What kind of schooling do you do? What kind of causes are you involved in? How do you feel about the old ager cause? Sure, I might come from a new ager family, but I understand the plight of the common folk. I know it's important to remember what makes us Galatians, all of our traditions and ideals. If we replace traditional Galatian goods with those generics made by cheap foreign labor, or keep letting more immigrants in, we lose those things entirely. Eventually our country will become just like all the others, no longer unique. A giant melting pot of different cultures. What happened to us, to Galacia? Cultural differences should be celebrated, not erased. Of course, it's hard with the government increasingly allowing more foreigners in. Why would your government do that? Cheap labor, foreign investments, in the end somebody profits while Galacia is stuck with the new societal class to support. So many immigrants just don't understand us or our traditions. Can you believe one of the patrons who wasn't born in Galacia didn't even tap the mirror? Shameful. 3 times when you're a guest. Yes, exactly. That's how I know I'm speaking with a true Galatian. I believe it's just rude to come to someone's house and not respect their own rules. Those kinds of people aren't ready for Galacia's gift. They are guests. Well, it isn't on them to educate themselves. They should choose to come and live here. Maybe you should help them. If they can ever learn. Oh, God. Jeez. This sounds like every so-called American patriot I've ever heard. Oh, if you come to America, you should speak English. You know, pardon me for the stereotypical accent, but I hear that all the time, and it's like, excuse me, no. How about no? I'll be back later. I really don't like her. Like, I did it first. Military to quell Trento riots. Because I liked her at first, but then she sort of grew very wearisome. Can I not open that? Can I not open this safe? No, I guess not. Locked. Oh, I probably gave the key back to him. It's that girl again. I don't like her! Oh, those are nice. Watches from that other guy. Inferno claims country's first automobile plant. Cold coffee and stale bread. That's a story of some kind. So, I believe I've spoken with everybody. Maybe? Yeah. I think I know who my target is going to be. I think I'm going to pick this lady. Yeah, I don't like you. Boom. Unexpected death shocks charity gala. Ophelia Thatcher suddenly collapsed. Cause of death is still unknown. Heart failure. Young daughter of the Thatchers, biggest radio broadcasting company in Galacia. Expresses sincere condolences, but hopes the tragic event will not damage his image or his company. Of course not. In act of goodwill, he promoted an experienced server, Frank Cole, to the head of human resources. He also expressed reluctance to host future galas after Akito's private study room went missing. Rose Hill High was only able to raise part of the necessary funds needed for its renovation, remaining just one of many organizations affected by the country's turmoils. The TFF new leaders saying violence. Trento Freedom Force, the most radical and violent pro-Ager terrorist group in the country, took a strange turn in leadership, proclaiming young Gary O'Neill, former student from Rose Hill High, one of its new key speakers and activists. His fanatical involvement with the organization was uncovered shortly after a charity gala for the benefit of school hosted. Okay, someone has told me I don't know enough about the conflict to make a judgment call, said young Gary. It merely made me realize how ignorant the average Galatian is about the conflict and that we have to make them care. Oh dear. The group, seeing no change in political and economic sphere among the wealthy businessmen, such as the aforementioned Mr. Selden, combined with Gary's aggressive viewpoints, has remained just as active and violent as ever, continuing for the Old Ager cause. New hope for Galacia, Conley's 5-point plan accepted. Okay, promoting unification. Due to your involvement, the Galatian turmoil continued for another short year before a ceasefire arrangement was brokered. The level of violence and random attacks increased slightly during that time. However, with conservative leaders and lacking facilities like Rose Hill High, Galacia's future was uncertain as it embarked on the long and difficult process of reconciliation. The denizens of Hengfors were shocked to find the random acts of animal violence escalated to human kidnappings and murders. The police were on lookout for the Hengfors butcher, which is probably that lady we were talking to who wanted to talk about humans, or human studying. Huh? What happened? You are dead. I'm sorry. Why? The powers that be demanded I claim someone tonight. Why did you choose me? I could say I simply didn't like you. I don't need to explain myself to you. You are happy with... Well, are you happy with yourself choosing me to die? I wasn't doing this for myself. What will happen to me now? You will be judged for your life's worth and treated accordingly. Suppose that makes sense. What do you think my odds are? So-so. Gosh darn, it's a little worrying. So I guess I step into the light or something? Step into the next room and our secretary will take care of you. How bureaucratic. I guess I'll ask them more questions. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you, I guess. I'm sorry. Bye. Status closed. Result pending review. Thank you for playing Postmortem. Woohoo! I did get the extended cut. I did enjoy it. And I will replay it, hopefully, in the future on my own to see how my actions would affect if I pick someone else. I might pick Gary or that other lady next time, because she did seem kind of dangerous, didn't she? Well, that was Postmortem, When Must Die. I hope you guys enjoyed that playthrough. If you like, I'll put a link in the description where you can go and get it for yourself on Steam. And I hope you guys will definitely check it out for yourselves, because it does actually seem very involved and very cool. So that was that, and I will see you guys in the next video. And in the meantime, guys, have fun, good game, and bye!